Hello and welcome to A Taste of Thirwood Place with Chef Payne. I'm your host Larry Lyford, and thank you for joining us on our second episode. We'll have a cooking show here once a month to give you some great ideas. Chef, what are we cooking today?
Today we're going to break down a full Pismo tenderloin and the different cuts of meat you can get from it to serve at a dinner party or for a large group.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that sounds exciting.
let's get right at it, Larry.
Let's do it.
This is a full tenderloin, beef tenderloin. We serve this a lot here at Thirwood. It's really tender, one of the nicest cuts of meat there is. And there's many, many things you can do with this roast, so to speak. And first we're going to just demonstrate how to clean it and the different cuts you can get from it. So this is a peeled tender. It's got some fat on it and skin that we need to take off. A lot of this you can do just by hand. It'll come right off pretty easy with a little help from the knife.
Yeah. And what do you call that, Chef?
This is just the fat, and this is a chain side muscle right here. This isn't very good. It's not edible, so we're going to take that right off.
Okay.
And as you can see, it's easy to do most of it with just your hand.
Yeah.
That way you don't cover up the meat too badly.
Right.
And that comes off just like that.
Okay.
Up here, there's a lot of tendon, so we have to cut around that.
Yeah. And could you use that for anything?
No, not really. I mean, if you were to spend a lot of time trimming it out, you could grind it up and maybe, but it's really not that good.
Okay.
So next we have a little bit of fat left on it. Over here, this is the main tendon. We're just going to cut that right off like that. And this part here is called the silver skin, and you need to take that off. That's really tough. It's very easy. You get a nice sharp knife. You slide underneath it like that. I use my finger here, and you just angle the knife up and take that silver skin off like a piece of paper. Again, just go all the way to the end with it. And we've got to work our way all the way around. The cleaner the better. It's an attractive piece of meat when it's all ready to go. It helps to have a very, very sharp knife.
Right. Yep.
This is a boning knife. It's just perfect for this application. On this side, there's a little pocket here. They call it the wedge fat. We're just going to take that right out like that. Some more of that silver skin up here. And back here is where it's attached to the bone. So there's a lot of knuckle type pieces here that we're going to cut right off because they're pretty fatty. But not much. We're just going to slim it down like that. Get most of the fat off.
Great. While he's doing that, I'll tell you that we're in our bistro here at Thirwood. We're on the upper floor, down the hall from our main dining room. And the bistro offers dinner Wednesday through Saturday to our residents. And we've also recently opened for lunch Wednesday through Saturday, so folks can come in for lunch as well. That's been going pretty well.
So there we are. It's pretty clean right now. We'll get a little bit more off of this side. And this is a whole Pismo tender. So what we're going to do from here on out is I'm going to tell you the different cuts we can get from this. A lot of this muscle meat here is very delicious, but it gets in the way. So I usually take that right off because it's too thick on this end. And I'll just save this for steak tips. And this is now the head of the tenderloin, and this is the tail section. What I do here for a banquet or a full dinner at Thirwood, I will take this now and I will tie it with string. And we'll roast the whole thing. We'll sear it off, roast it in the oven. Doesn't take very long. They're only about 30 minutes in the oven and they're fully cooked.
Wow.
But tonight we're going to show you different ways to do it.
So tying it, Chef, keeps it together while it's in the oven?
Yes, keeps it together. You get the real thin part down here. We're going to fold it under the tenderloin like that and to get a uniform thickness all the way through. And what we have here is the head of the fillet. They'll cut this off, and what we will do here is you'd end up trimming this like this, and this is what you would call your Chateaubriand. It's a bit wrapped in puff pastry with mushroom duxelle, a very delicious holiday treat. Tonight we want to show you how to cook that. It'll take us too long. But here's our tenderloin. Now you normally, if you wanted to, you could cut steaks just like this, and you'd have beautiful filet mignon. And I'll show you one right here. This is a center cut filet, and just as tender and delicious as it can get. We'll actually do a couple of those. These are about 5 ounce, pretty good size. You can do 2 for a nice meal, or even cut them thicker if you want. But I'm going to save those for another time.
Yep.
And we have our steak tips. So this is going to be our tips. Eventually you just cut these up like this. And these make the most tender steak tips you'll ever have in your life. You end up using the entire product. What I'm going to demonstrate now is how to tie the roast up, so you can do it at home quite easily. You can cut individual pieces of twine, butcher's twine, and wrap it, but I have a trick here that I learned as a young cook from the French chefs. They tie a knot here, and now we're going to basically just sew it up. So that for me, thank you. You take your hand, you just do a loop like that. Slide it underneath to catch that other piece of that tail meat. That'll hold it tight, and you just kind of wiggle it back and forth till it comes together. And you continue all the way down the roast. This helps hold it together, keeps it in a uniform size so it cooks nice and evenly. When you get to that point, you just cut the string off and just tie a quick little knot so it doesn't unravel. Now this is oven ready. You season it. You can either put it on a char grill, or you can get it into a saute pan, and I'll demonstrate that on how to sear it to make it oven ready.
And what would your choice of seasonings be?
I like Montreal steak seasoning, or black pepper salt, kosher salt, garlic salt, anything like that. Whatever your preference is, whatever you like.
Nice.
I use a clarified butter when I go into this pan like this to season. Just gives it a lot more flavor. You can use oil. We'll let that heat up for a few seconds. Yeah, we got some heat already, Larry.
Good.
So in goes our steak. We're going to let that get crisped up really nice. This pan, we're going to get our other stuff ready. I'll take that top pan.
This one?
I'll take that. Yeah. Slide out the top pan for me, sir.
Oh.
Excellent.
Yep.
So earlier I pre-marked off some tenderloin steaks that I showed you how I cut right there. We're going to just reheat these in this pan. Here I have caramelized onions. I peel the onion, but I leave the stem end on, cut it into quarters, and pan sear it on both sides. And this goes right in the oven, in the pan it's in, for 20-30 minutes until they're nice and soft and caramelized. It really makes a really nice demonstration. And again, here's some of the steak tips we made earlier from the same cuts of meat. We can reheat all that in the same pan.
I can take it.
You see a nice brown caramelization going on here. We're going to sear this all the way around and then right into the oven for about 30 minutes. They don't take long. I cook it to a temperature of 120 and then let it rest for a good 15 to 20 minutes. When it comes out of the oven, you should have a perfect medium rare.
Yeah, what would the oven temp be?
I start at 400 degrees, and right when the meat goes in, I turn it down to 300.
300.
Low and slow.
Low and slow.
So this would be ready to go in the oven.
Yep.
I'm going to go in there, Larry.
Yep. Yep. Get out of your way. There we go.
And there she goes. So as you can see, we got some beautiful steaks here.
Beautiful
I call
onions.
these onion flowers, because we'll show you when we demonstrate how we're going to cook those. Today we're using some asparagus. We've served both these dishes I'm going to demonstrate tonight here at Thirwood. Now here's the roast we cooked a little earlier, right out of the oven.
Yep.
I'm just going to flip this over so we have a nice clean board.
Yep.
And you can see we have the strings on here. I'm just going to cut these off. And they come right off really easily. And as you can see, it's held together pretty nicely, that little tail flap meat that was on the other side. Okay. I pre-blanch my asparagus early, get them just bite tender, and then we finish them in the sauté pan. That way they stay nice and bright green.
Yeah, and I like how you peel the
bottom
bottoms,
stems
yeah.
makes it tender. Yes.
Sure.
So Larry, if I could have your assistance,
Sure.
a couple plates out here.
You got it.
These are some roasted red peppers I did on the char grill, whole. I just charred it till it got black into a pan of a little bowl of ice water, and the skin comes right off, and they're nice and beautiful, tender. Adds nice color to the plate. Off. All right, here we go. We'll plate now. Here's our roast tenderloin.
Yep.
Today we're going to have a nice little puree of mashed potato. Nice and hot still, beautiful.
Nice.
We'll arrange our tenderloin. Oh, we got the most important part.
Yeah.
A little flour.
Yum.
So now you can just open this up like petals to a flower.
Mm-hmm.
Take your meat and just lay it out like that. Same on this side. And this one we'll do with a fillet.
Nice.
We'll garnish with our asparagus.
Nice color.
Yes, sir. One dish we do here once in a while is called jour et nuit, which is day and night. It's 2 sauces. One is dark and one is light. This is a demi-glaze sauce here. So we're just going to pour that on half the side of this fillet. And half on the sliced tenderloin roast.
Mm-hmm.
And we come with the Béarnaise sauce, which is the hollandaise sauce with a tarragon reduction. 2 sauces that taste great together.
That's great. Those are the day and night sauces.
So yellow
Yes.
is the hollandaise is your day, the demi is your night.
Mm-hmm.
You garnish with a little parsley and a cherry tomato rose. And that's it.
Fantastic.
Very easy, lovely dish.
Yep.
Very well received by our guests, and
Very nice.
residents.
And Chef, we would pair these entrees with a Cabernet,
Yes.
or even a simple Merlot.
Yes,
would be
very well.
fine.
Yep.
Can I
Any heavy or light, whatever your preference
Yeah.
is. It'll
Could I
go
get
good
you
with
some
both.
Cabernet?
Sure.
I'll join you. And
Thank
to
you, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, you made that look easy. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yum. Should we try it, Larry?
We're going to dig into these, yes. Absolutely. Great. Fantastic. Thank you.
See what your reaction is and how good we did.
Oh, I love tenderloin.
Oh, yeah. It's good. Oh, yeah. Very, very good.
Oh, melts in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That is delicious.
Again, you could have this done by your local butcher if you didn't want to go through the whole process, but it's very easy to do and saves a lot of money.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, John.
Okay, Larry, thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us for another show. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and check out our website, thirwoodplace.com. And we'll catch you next month. Just curious, hopefully they made the quiche recipe from last month.
Yeah.
Let us know how you did. Thank you. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Cheers.
Cheers.